All right, buckle up, because we are diving headfirst into the swirling mass of speculation that is the Nintendo Switch 2. You've brought some spicy articles for us today, both from September 17th, 2024, and, well, let's just say the rumor mill is working overtime.
It's always a wild ride when we're on the brink of a new console generation, right?
Absolutely. It's like the whole gaming world turns into a detective agency.
Everyone's trying to piece together clues, reading between the lines, and of course hoping for that one juicy leak that confirms all their wildest theories.
And what makes this even more intriguing is that Nintendo's been, well, characteristically silent.
Oh yeah, they're playing their cards close to their chest as always.
Exactly. So these leaks we've got, they feel like finding gold.
Oh, I agree.
First up, we've got that Taiwanese newspaper known for its tech scoops, the Taiwan Economic Daily News.
Ah, they've got their finger on the pulse, don't they?
They really do, and what they're suggesting is, well, it's big. They're claiming Nintendo might officially unveil the Switch 2 in November.
A November reveal. Bold move, but not entirely unexpected.
Right.
I mean, Nintendo does love a good holiday release.
They do. Remember the original Switch?
Yeah.
Launched in March, and then bam, holiday bundles galore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So strategically, this lines up. If they're aiming for a similar rollout, a November reveal would build insane hype.
Oh, for sure. But okay, let's get to the real meat of this, the rumor that's got everyone talking.
Yeah.
The same Taiwanese newspaper, they're suggesting the Switch 2 might have, wait for it, dual screens.
Dual screens. Whoa, no, that's a twist I wasn't expecting.
Right. Came out of left field.
It's such a classic Nintendo move, though, isn't it?
It is. I mean, they're no strangers to the two-screen game.
The DS, the 3DS, both iconic handhelds and both absolutely revolutionary in how they use those two screens.
And let's not forget the Wii U.
Ah, yes, the Wii.
Maybe not as universally loved,
Perhaps not their finest hour.
but still, it had that second screen thing going on.
You're right, the Wii U is a good reminder that execution is everything.
It is.
But think about the potential here. Dual screens on a hybrid console like the Switch. Developers could go absolutely wild with that.
It would be a game changer, literally.
Imagine the possibilities.
Okay. Before we get too carried away with our dual screen fantasies, let's rein it in for a second.
Okay, back down to earth.
And think about the logistics. How would this even work, design-wise?
You point.
Are we talking a clamshell design, like the DS? Or maybe something closer to those foldable phones everyone's using these days?
Those are the million-dollar questions.
Right.
Right now, your guess is as good as mine. A clamshell design seems like the most obvious choice, sure. A nice callback to the DS.
It does.
But knowing Nintendo and their love of doing the unexpected, they could very well surprise us with something completely out of left field.
Oh, absolutely. It's Nintendo. Never say never.
Mm.
But speaking of innovation, there's this other tidbit from the Taiwanese report that I found really interesting. They mentioned something about AI being used to enhance the Switch 2 screen and processing power.
AI in a console.
Yeah, AI.
Now that is interesting.
Right, like, is that even a thing?
It's definitely a thing. And honestly, it's a trend I think we're going to see a lot more of in the gaming world. Now, the report doesn't get into specifics about the Switch 2, but AI could be used in so many ways to boost performance. And they wouldn't necessarily need to pack in the absolute most powerful processors to do it.
So what are you thinking, like, instead of going head-to-head with the PS5 and Xbox Series X on pure processing power, Nintendo's exploring a different route with AI?
It's a possibility, isn't it?
That's actually pretty clever.
It could be a really smart move for them.
But what does that actually look like in practice? I mean, what can AI do for a console experience?
Well, for starters, imagine AI upscaling visuals.
Yeah.
Taking those graphics to higher resolutions, or maybe even improving battery life by optimizing performance on the fly.
Okay, that makes sense.
It could even personalize the gameplay experience, adapting to your preferred playstyle as you play.
Now, that is cool. But if they are going down the AI route to enhance the hardware, wouldn't that come with a pretty hefty price tag?
It's possible, yeah.
And speaking of price tags, that same report, the one from Taiwan, they mentioned the potential price point for the Switch 2, 400 euro.
400 euro?
Yeah.
That's a steep jump from the original Switch's price.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you think about how everyone's feeling the pinch these days.
Yeah, for sure. Although we do have to keep in mind that 400 euro is a direct conversion from the Taiwanese sword.
Right, of course.
Regional pricing could end up looking quite different.
That's true.
Mm.
But still, it does make you wonder, are they going for a premium price tag to reflect the significant hardware upgrade?
I think it's definitely a possibility. especially if they're packing in all these advanced features like we've been talking about, the AI, the dual screens.
Yeah.
But you're right, it could also make the Switch 2, well, inaccessible to some players.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's switch gears for a sec. Move on to the other source you dug up.
Okay, sounds good.
This one's from the leaker, Ryan from the Bronx, formerly known as Midori.
Right.
They're claiming that the Switch 2 will have some kind of system for downloading and transferring your games
Yeah.
from the original Switch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Backwards compatibility.
Backwards compatibility, exactly.
That's huge. Nintendo fans have been begging for this for years.
For years. Can you imagine picking up a Switch 2 on day one and having access to, like, your entire Switch library?
It would make the transition to a new generation so much smoother.
So much smoother.
I can already hear the collective sigh of relief from gamers everywhere.
Right. And think about it from Nintendo's perspective. They've got this incredibly passionate fan base.
They really do.
A fan base that's invested in their ecosystem. Backwards compatibility. It's a smart move, you know.
It would definitely sweeten the deal for a lot of people.
It would make that upgrade to the Switch 2 a no-brainer for so many fans.
Absolutely.
But I do wonder.
Yeah.
Backwards compatibility, I mean, it can be tricky, right?
Oh, for sure.
Especially if we're talking about a potential dual-screen setup.
Right. They'd need to make sure all those older games run smoothly on the new hardware.
Exactly.
And maybe even find ways to adapt them, to take advantage of those two screens.
Can you imagine playing, like, Breath of the Wild on a more powerful Switch with, like, enhanced visuals and maybe even some dual screen elements thrown in?
The possibilities are endless.
It would be amazing.
Nintendo's always been about innovation.
They have.
And this could be another example of them pushing the boundaries of what a console can be.
Okay, so let's recap for a second. We've got a potential November reveal, the possibility of a dual screen design, AI enhancements, a possible €400 price tag, and backwards compatibility.
That's a lot to process.
It's a lot, and it's all so exciting.
It really is.
But we do have to remember, this is all still just rumor and speculation at this point.
Right, we can't get ahead of ourselves.
There's still so many unanswered questions. What about the Joy-Cons? Will they get a redesign? And what about Nintendo's online services? Are those finally getting a much-needed update?
Those are good questions.
Of course, the biggest question of all, the launch lineup.
What games are they going to wow us with on day one?
Exactly. A new 3D Mario, a Breath of the Wild sequel. The suspense is killing me. I know, right? It's almost too much to handle.
The hype is real.
It really is. But hey, that's half the fun. Until that Nintendo Direct drops and blows our minds, we can dream. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Gotta let the speculation run wild.
Exactly. So I'm curious, for you personally, what are you most excited about? What's got you hooked?
Honestly, it's the dual screens. If that's true and they actually pull it off, it could be as revolutionary as the Switch's original design.
Right.
Like we were saying before, Nintendo, they take risks. They're not afraid to completely redefine what a console can be.
They really aren't.
And that dual screen setup, especially on a hybrid console, it just opens up so many possibilities for developers, so many ways to experiment.
I'm already imagining asymmetric gameplay, where one player's on the TV
Yeah.
and the other's using the handheld screen, each with their own, like, goals and views of the game.
Oh man, that would be incredible.
Or using one screen for inventory management in an RPG, while the action's happening on the other screen.
See, that's the kind of stuff that gets me fired up. The potential is insane.
It is. But then there's that other side of it, too. Will developers actually embrace it this time?
That's the big question, isn't it? Because, we've been down this road before.
Exactly. We don't want another Wii U situation.
Where the potential's there, the tech is cool, but it doesn't quite, hit the mark.
Nobody wants that.
It's going to be fascinating to see how it all plays out, though.
It really will.
The Switch 2 could be another home run for Nintendo. Or it could be,
It's swing and a miss.
Only time will tell.
It always does.
But hey, that's the beauty of it, right?
It is.
All this anticipation, the rumors, the speculation, it's all part of the fun.
It really gets you hyped up for that eventual reveal.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe Nintendo's got even bigger surprises up their sleeve.
Maybe they'll announce a partnership with you to design the first dual-screen Mario Kart.
Huh. No, that's an idea. But seriously, it's a good time to be a Nintendo fan. The hype train has left the station, and we're along for the ride.
Full steam ahead.
Exactly. Well, thanks for joining me for this rumor-fueled deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
Until next time, keep those Joy-Cons charged and those speculation engines running.
And remember, take everything with a grain of salt until Nintendo makes it official.
Couldn't have said it better myself. See you next time.